Ah, way too much. Welcome. Over the Top Podcast Sports Edition. This your boy, Big Hank. I'm here with the Over the Top Sports crew. Start with the Playmaker. What's up, baby? What's up, Play? What's going on with you?
Baby. I'm good. I'm good.
I said, Play. What's going on with you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Everything's good. We also got Q in the house. What's up, Q?
Hey, I'm getting awards. The NBA's getting awards, and top 5 QB getting big boy contracts. If your QB can't squat 600 pounds, exit stage left.
Facts. We got Big B. What's up, B?
What's happening with you?
Hey man, trying to keep this thing in the middle of the road, man. We also got RJ. What's going on, Ron?
What's happening, man? Hey
man, I'm doing good, brother. Doing good. So we're gonna jump into the NBA playoffs, but since we do have a tenth of us, is there a tenth of us? Our Eagles fans a little more than percentage. We're gonna give shout outs to our quarterback Jalen.
40%.
40%. Yeah. To our quarterback Jalen Hurts for being named the highest paid quarterback in the league. Good job, Jalen. Good job.
Highest paid player.
Good. And it's a good job to his agents. But hey guys, we're gonna start with this. Where did that leave Lamar at? So Jalen got what was his contract? 179 guaranteed. 50 a year, something around there.
Something like that.
So Lamar asking for 200 million. Gee, what is he gonna get it?
So I don't see why Jalen Hurts' contract got anything to do with Lamar Jackson's contract. They're not playing for the same team. They're not even playing in the same division. I think
in conference.
Say it again.
Not even in the same conference. We're in different conferences.
So I can see if you were saying that Jalen was the best quarterback out there, and therefore nobody's going to get anything close to what he's getting. But I'm not quite sure you can say that because he doesn't have any hardware in his closet.
Well, the reason why, because the ceiling been set. So I think what really happened. I think me you talked about earlier. But I think what happened is the owners got together and said, look, we're not paying this man $200 million. But what we go we gonna have to put a lid on this thing, guys. So they had the conversation. They put the lid on. Not only Jalen Hurts, but Daniel Jones got a new contract too by around 179. So that knocks out that 200 million guaranteed. So that's the correlation. What do you think about that, Big Ron? What do you think about that, man? What's your thoughts?
He deserved his money, man. I think he's one of the better leaders in sports. I have an extreme amount of respect for him as a young man, as a person. What he endured at Alabama, and then transitioning to go to Oklahoma, and then being able to go into that locker room and win those guys over, and actually getting a college playoff after 1 year, that's a major feat. Even though Oklahoma has talent, his introduction to that program was like a lift for them. So that's deep. And he understood how to win.
Is the money getting too high? Is the money get too much for these professional athletes? This man's making what, 50 million a year? Is the money too high for him?
Man, you're gonna get into you getting off into a deep philosophical conversation.
I'm throwing the ball. That's why I threw it the ball. I didn't throw it to you, sir.
Okay. Let me mute.
You're going to give me the preamble. That's why I threw it the ball, sir.
I say get it. I say go get it. Why they giving it? Go get it. You'd be crazy not to.
Yeah.
You'd be crazy. I think we're gonna see it. It's only gonna go up. It's gonna get even more ridiculous and whatnot. So yeah, I say get it. I don't have a problem with it.
Jump in, RJ. What's your thoughts? We ain't gotta dive in it too deep, but jump in. Give me your thoughts. Huh?
I saw a gentleman maybe 3 or 4 months ago get on TV and state that He said, man, no one person is worth $1 million to a sports team. He said, so what are sports? In its truest sense, it's the Roman circus. So when Nero wanted to daggone do his thing, what he essentially did was empower the people and put on shows, created the Roman circus, and there it was. Shortly thereafter, Rome was burning. There's a little bit of a concept when you start thinking about where we are as Americans. Man, there's a lot of money being dished out and shared out.
Yeah.
And Rome is burning here, where America's burning Babylon. But that's a whole nother different conversation.
It is.
But
It
yeah.
is. It is. It is.
Counterpoint.
It is.
Counterpoint to
It
that. Check the contract that soccer players are making or football players are making overseas.
What they making overseas, Q?
More than what the Americans are making.
And
For the longest time, I think the highest paid athlete was Cristiano Ronaldo.
And
Yeah,
I will pose this question to you, point and counterpoint. What did Macron say? Macron said we men need to walk away from the interests of the American government and learn how to do business with other people. That's a whole other story.
Yeah. That's what I didn't want to give you a little example. Hey, and for those who don't listen to older top podcasts on the weekends, on the serial, on the regular, so please tune in and we get a little more deeper in other subject matters. But one more money question. I'm gonna run with G because G don't like the boy made this kind of money. Do you think it's bad for the economy that the boys making the money they making?
No, I don't think it's bad for the economy because they're not sports. You got the owners making a ton of money. So the owners are not going to let the players make more money than they're making. So no, I don't think it's a bad for the economy. I wish they would pool their money together and do something for the betterment of people who look like them, but that's a whole different story.
Mm.
Dime dropping. You heard it here first over the top sports. But hey, they jumping in sports, B. What's over the Lake Show, man? Let's start with the Lakers Grizzlies. What we looking like? Where you standing in the where they down? What?
That's the one.
It is 1-1. Don't do that.
1-1.
That's the most intriguing playoff series right now in the league. They're gonna go 7. They're gonna make the money in the first round. I expect LeBron at some point to kick in. LeBron tired right now though. He's tired.
He's not the only one gassed. The other fella holding his shorts too.
Who? AD?
Yeah, he holding his shorts too, man.
And AD I do not trust. So I mean it don't matter. I mean, I would love to see the production that he put out the first game, but you see, he seemed to can't put back to back. Here's the thing,
he's not aggressive.
My thing is this. To be honest with that series, I just wish they had the mindset of Mike in those, and I know I'm going back in the day, because right now Memphis is just doing a bunch of talking. And, at the end of the day, they're not that good. I mean, they just got pieces and everybody willing to work. But I'm not excited about them. But my goodness, Dylan Brooks is their defensive stopper. Dylan, the same dude that came out with his little girl hairstyle on game 1. Come on.
Yeah. But who do you blame? Who do you blame for the loss, Ryan?
Who lost the second game?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about out of the series.
Second game of the series. The Lakers lost the 93 103.
I think a lot of the reason why the Lakers have lost throughout the year, to me, is consistency and professionalism. That's my opinion. LeBron is consistent. LeBron is professional. he tries to set a standard, but I don't think he's the best standard bearer at points in times because he flakes on certain stuff. I think that's where he differs from being like Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was unapologetic and he never flinched on certain stuff. And I think those inconsistencies are part of the reason why AD and some of those players don't necessarily always want to follow his lead.
Who you still got? You still got the Grizzlies, or you stay with the Lakers?
I said I was going with the Grizzlies before Doc got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
I did say that. I'm still gonna stick with them. I'm still gonna stick with them.
Where you at, Q?
I'm a Lakers fan. I know I said we were gonna lose the series, but then we beat them we beat them when they had Ja, and now Ja's not playing because he done messed up his wrist. We just had a bad second game. We just had a bad shooting game. AD didn't show up. D'Angelo Russell, I don't know what happened to D'Angelo Russell. Austin Reeves, well, we know he's hot and cold. But hey, as long as if in LeBron I trust, and also in Rui Hachimura I trust. That's bad. Someone on that, some light-skinned small forward on that team on the Grizzlies said Rui Hachimura wouldn't get 20 back-to-back games. Rui's our sixth man.
Yeah, but did you trust him?
What?
Did he get 20 on second game?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. 20 points on 7 of 12.
Here's the thing. Memphis got to shut up. They got to shut up and play. That's what's got to happen. I mean,
that's their style. That is their style. When I see him getting in the face of LeBron reacting, that lets me know that Dillon Brooks is doing his job.
No,
there is a old man on Fox Sports who's been talking about LeBron for 20 years and hasn't gotten a response out of LeBron. This light skinned man who played at Oregon got a whole lot of response out of LeBron in 2 games.
Okay, let me say this. I think it's just totally different. That, you know, when you're on the court playing and you just know that the person, like LeBron, look at Dillon Brooks as like the biggest joke. He's just aggravating. He's just aggravating. I mean,
does that get him off his game? Is that deployed? Is that deployed?
Dillon Brooks is doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
But hold on, Jelly, let's get G here. G, is that deployed? Is that to get him off his game?
Well, I guess let me back up 1 second. So, I mean, you all are forgetting that the Lakers were in the play-in game to get to the 7th seed. So they're the underdog. I mean, you all are talking like they are the favorites that are struggling in this series. It's still 1-1.
Yeah.
Don't lump me in there with them. I said immediately it's 1-1.
I mean, you're talking about a number 2 over the year going against a number 7, and y'all like, well, you know, I'm going for the Lakers too, but it should be an uphill battle because you got a 7 going against a 2. Now the Bush League stuff, you know, everybody got their own thing to kind of get them, get them going or to get them motivated or add to their team. The Brooks guy is an okay defender. If he keep his mouth shut, don't do anything, he's still an okay defender. He's an NBA player. He is a starter on the number 2 team out of the West. You got to give him some credit. Yeah, I mean, yes, he's not a LeBron stopper. He's not, you know, a Dennis Rodman or, you know, or LeBron James within himself, but he is a professional player and he's been able to defend at a high level for a number of years. Still Bush League though.
Yeah, Bush League. I just trying to figure out when did Bush League become playing tough? Because I mean, I don't know. But that's
y'all praise toughness when it was when they drive in the lane, he gets a forearm.
Well,
y'all told me that was defense.
No, it's a toughness, but what they doing now is a little more Bush League instead of this squaring up, smacking the floor playing defense.
Someone driving a lane and you clothesline them, that ain't Bush League.
Well, I mean, was it the clothesline or was it
yes.
a hard foul?
Yes, it was. Hold on. Everyone hold on a second. That is me. You ain't gonna get that by anybody else. It's me. Yes,
Well,
I
a
was
hard foul's a hard foul, sir. But yeah, but the way these guys doing now, kicking people in the leg or try to kick people in the privates. Hell, that what Jared Embiid just did to your boy for the center from Brooklyn just now in the same game. They had an entanglement early in the game. Try to kick the man in the private part. That's not toughness.
Hey. Speaking of throwing people around. First off, and also here's one thing that we haven't brought up yet, and I'm surprised you haven't. It's playoff basketball, man. Like, this playoff basketball.
Time, sir. I understand. So
It's playoff
we
basketball.
gotta,
People get thrown around. Fouls will not get called. This is for the money now. If you ain't playing hard, be like Ben Simmons.
Hey man, the issue, honestly, consciously, he's not wrong about saying what they did back in the day, the clothesline and all that was. That's all that. That starts with land bed. However, what Sabonis did the other night, man, that pissed me off, and I could kind of see how Draymond lost it, but I just, Stephen A. said something that was real powerful. He could potentially cost his team twice a run of the championship because he let what he did overrun. And then he said, man,
positive.
As much as you want to defend Draymond's done worse.
And then what he said,
Draymond's done worse to solicit a response. Draymond's done worse than what Sabonis did, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they said that they didn't feel comfortable fining him because he's paid more than $1 million in fines. So, goddamn, I'm thinking about that. Hey, man, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of bread.
So
if you process that's a lot of bread.
It is a lot of bread, but I mean, he should have got suspended. I think he should have got suspended. I think both of them should have got suspended personally. I think both should have got suspended for a game.
Just fine them both. Take some away.
No, I think because that's detrimental to the game. I mean, I think grabbing somebody's ankle, you could break an ankle, you could break a tendon, you can blow ACL, kiss somebody in the chest. Come on, guy. That's not the proper reaction. If you go to your workplace and act like that, you're gonna be walked out the door. Am I wrong? Am I wrong having that standpoint?
We gotta stop comparing civilian jobs to what I'm watching on TV right now. There's tens of thousands of civilians watching athletes play.
I understand, but
it's a workplace though. It's a workplace.
You're right. It's still a workplace. You don't think he should have got kicked out the workplace? You don't think that's proper? What's your thought? Hold up, Quinn. I'm gonna talk to Bell. Let Bell in there. What's that, Bell?
The whole situation is, I think what got Draymond was his history. History got Draymond. I feel like we got a cleaner, more humble version of him now, meaning he's matured some. When I saw it, I didn't think it was suspension worthy. I even questioned, wasn't it even a flagrant two?
Stepping on the chest? Stepping on the bad chest. I
mean, here's the thing, and I know it's two different situations.
He stomped the mud.
Here's the thing, and I know I'm about to go back so many years. Man, Christian Layton literally on national television, he stumped dude in the chest.
He should have been kicked out of that game, man.
He should have been kicked out of that game, kicked out of the tournament.
I mean, right, and as you know, things have evolved. I mean, I understand what you should.
So my thing is, man, listen.
I'm just saying. And both of them should have been kicked out, in my opinion.
And the jump was not to put pressure. The jump was actually so I don't put pressure. So
right,
so I see
kicked out?
The act of caring. You didn't see
both of them got kicked out. You don't think both of them should got kicked out?
Did he just get? Where's my Twitter?
What you think, Gary? You jumping in there?
I feel like right now, Mike Brown is beating Steve Kerr at his own game.
Now that I believe. What do you think? What your thoughts?
Well, I agree with what Bear said. The only thing I dislike is I don't think they should have brought the man's history into play for the suspension. everything should have been based off of the activity of the foul. When you bring in the history, you bring in bias, you bring in all kind of stuff. Oh, this is his first time offense. We're gonna let him go, or this is what he's always doing. We gotta make an example. I think it should not go into the history of the player. I think it should be evaluated what happened on the floor at that point in time.
Well, I'm
Real
gonna push
quick,
back
real
on you
quick.
with that now. I'm gonna push back on you with that now
Real
because
quick. So the Nets are up on the 76ers, and James Harden just got kicked out of the game.
okay.
So
It's
Brooklyn might
96,
steal the game.
96-84.
Yeah, going in the fourth quarter, James Harden just got kicked out. Brooklyn might steal this one.
Man,
Playmaker,
listen,
when
I
you
heard what you said. I heard what y'all just said.
What?
Honestly, I agree with, man, you know who suspended them? You know who the league special region or whatever they call him is? Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars is a person that's considered to be one of his mentors. And Joe felt really bad about what took place for him, what they said. But at the same time, it's the history. You gotta address the history. He did what he did in the playoff game in front of national TV. But see, people don't realize, and this, I'm gonna date myself because I remember my uncles and them talking about this. Dude from DC, Kermit Washington, hit Tom Jonovich, knocked him slap out, almost killed him. And what Silver and Stern was afraid of was that if that fight breaks out and somebody dies or gets extremely hurt as a result of that, what is the league going to be reflective of, especially if the product is 70, 80% Black? That's one of the reasons why they kind of reined in a lot of that, a lot of the physicality with the play.
But you gotta look at the history. Anything that we do in life, you want to get a credit card, they pull your credit history. If you get pulled over by the cops, they pull your criminal history. If you go to apply for a job, they pull your employment history. So I do believe if you got a history, you see a pattern of negative behavior, I mean, at some point in time, you had to punish that. That's my thoughts. What do you think about that, G?
So that's like saying if I go to the wrong bank, out of network bank, I get a $3.50 fee. And then,
I do.
And then if I go to that same bank next week, they're going to charge me double because I shouldn't have went to it the first time. They're going to just keep adding on because of my history.
No.
They're going to give me the same fine each time. They're not going to look at my history and say, you went here one time, that's $3.50. You go here twice, that's $7.50. They're not going to keep adding on because of my history.
If you rob a bank, the first time they're gonna charge you, rob a bank again, they're gonna look at their history and they're gonna charge their history. You do it the third time, you may not get out. You do it the third time, you may not get out. But that's who win the series? Is Golden State in trouble? I mean, I still going with Golden State. I think they're in trouble, but I think they're gonna win.
It is still, honestly, I say the series is going exactly as I said it would. Going 7 and Golden State will not win a game on the road. So far, everything's going according to plan.
Did Golden State win tonight?
They haven't played yet.
They play tomorrow, but they're gonna go back to San Francisco. Jesus, they're gonna go back to San Francisco. Gonna win 2. Then they go back to Sacramento, lose.
They're gonna win without Draymond.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They don't have Draymond.
Yeah, I think they can.
It might get nasty. Oh,
Hank,
no, it might. Don't let it be sweet.
I think they can.
Hank.
They still got they
you know what? Y'all not listening to the strategy
there.
of the game, man. Come on,
got
man.
Splash Brothers over
Mike Brown has spent. Listen, Mike Brown has spent almost 2 or 3 years on the coaching staff. He's one of the best defensive technicians in the NBA. And he got 2 young gunners and a good center.
Correct.
They cannot match up with him. Styles make fights.
I got a question.
Listen,
I got a question.
listen.
I got a question.
The man just told y'all the truth. He just told y'all the truth.
Okay, you still got the boy to smash, but still just shoot the
Didn't I just
ball.
say he was beating Curry at his own game? He's beating Steve Curry at his own game, and Steve can't do anything about it.
He knows how he thinks, man. They've been in the foxhole together. If I've been around you,
Can I bring a question up in here? Can I bring one question in here?
Go ahead.
If they get swept, I'm not saying they get swept. If the Warriors get swept, is the dynasty over?
Well, they're gonna break up.
No, they could come back. They could come back next year, but Draymond is going to end up leaving. He has to go because the deal that they talking about, he wants to sign.
He's an integral part of dynasty. That's what I'm saying. If they get swept, is the dynasty over?
I think Draymond on this year.
Listen. We putting out too many. We giving out.
They're in the playoff run.
I mean, yeah, I know Golden State has won, but all this dynasty stuff and all, man, come on.
4 rings don't make you a dynasty?
Huh?
4 rings don't make you a dynasty?
5 if KD don't get hurt?
I'm just asking. Gary, 4 rings make you a dynasty?
I think you got to take it under consideration. That's 40% of a decade. You got to take that under consideration.
I mean, I'm just asking.
They are good. I don't think they ever beat like a Bulls team or a Rockets team, one of those teams. They could probably beat maybe 1 or 2 of those Tim Duncan teams, but a lot of those teams that we kind of grew up on. Nah, I don't think they
can get on the court with no parts of Showtime.
Wait. Why are you comparing them as far as if they can play together? You gotta play together.
So this is my thing. Everybody say they done. It's a couple of players that play in this league. If they on the flow, they have a chance to win the game.
I agree.
I don't know if nobody else put this man in that category, but I put Stephen Curry in that category. When he's on the flow, he gives you an opportunity to
Can he rebound?
He gives the opportunity to win, huh?
Can he rebound? Can he rim protect?
He can shoot it. He can shoot it. He can shoot it. I don't know how he
giving Joel the business right now.
What he can do, he can stroke it. Now he may not be able to do a lot up in it, but he can
Hank,
stroke
the issue, you know what the issue is? You know what the issue is? You know what the issue is? They said the shift happened in the game when Draymond got kicked out. You know what the number one thing that they were doing against the Kings?
What?
They were defending them better than most people would. And when Draymond goes out of the game, it was over.
The fix is in.
Let's keep it pushing.
Hold on.
Can we talk about this Brooklyn?
I want to say this right quick.
Hold on, yeah.
When we think about sports and we say father, we think about Father Time. And what you're seeing now, when you look at the Lakers and you look at LeBron, you're seeing Father Time. And just to be honest, when you look at Steph, you're looking at Father Time. Time is running out. Steph is not the Steph from 3 years ago. He's not even the same Steph from last year, in my opinion. Can he still take over a game? Can he still win a game? Yeah. So can LeBron. But
that's what I'm saying.
We talking about dominant 7 games for the entire series. Mike Brown got those young bulls. He got those young bulls straight balling. And you know the other scary part about that is one of those bulls got a chip on his shoulder. And you know who that is?
De'Aaron Fox.
Barnes got a chip on his shoulder. And they in trouble. You're seeing the end of the Warriors.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. That move on. So I just told. Let's go ahead and talk about this series because Quentin want to talk about because the game is close. Let's look at the Nets and Philly series. Right now is what?
So what just happened was about 2 minutes ago, Claxton done dunked all over Embiid. he was giving Embiid the business for these past few minutes, and he just got thrown out too. So I don't know if the fix is in because they just threw out James Harden and then they threw out Claxton because Brooklyn was beating Philly. They're on a run too, so
If
I still
Philly,
got Philly winning,
this
but I think
series
they
over.
yeah, I agree, but they could be a little less obvious about trying to get Philly to move on. That's what they just threw out Nick Claxton for was egregious.
All right. I think everybody is on point with Philly winning this thing, right? We can keep it pushing.
But yeah, I agree. I agree.
So Kawhi's out. So how about this Clippers Suns matchup? You start us out with that, B.
Clippers had their time.
Is
They
it
really
rap?
had their time. They stole game one. Now I think it'll be a totally different series with Paul George. They really miss Paul George in this series.
I miss him too. I want him on the floor because this is scrappy. This is one of the better series out there. To be honest with you.
You take Paul George, put him on Durant, and now I think you got a different outcome and whatnot. You definitely got a different outcome on the offensive end because now you give them, their two best weapons, and then if Westbrook is on, is a different story. So this series can be interesting, but I really feel like it's going to go downhill from that Durant and whatnot. But I'm not big on them going to maybe the finals. I don't know, but it's gonna be. Yeah, not the league finals. I'm talking about the Western Conference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who
but I'm not 100% sold on Denver either. So
they got we don't want to talk about that series. That's one of the worst series out there. I think, geez. What do you think, Ron? What do you think about the Clippers and Suns?
You remember I told you before the playoffs even started, I felt like that if everybody was healthy, that would probably be one of the best series because I think the Clippers, man, from all accounts, I haven't watched them or seen them play, but they say they go 8, 9, 10 deep. And so if they go 10 deep with those two players on the team, they can beat them. Chris Paul don't got no, I hate to say this, but Chris Paul's legs are not as spry as they once were. And so if you really look at like that aspect of it, he's the X factor with them. You get a Paul George on Book, and you get Kawhi on KD. Man, they cancel each other out. I think. I don't think Booker is nearly the defender that Paul George is. So you talking about advantage Clippers, in my opinion. He's an offensive juggernaut.
I would do it a little different. I'll take PG and put him on Durant, just for the fact I feel like that'll give Kawhi more of the opportunity to roam defensively, and I would just love to see him not really have that type responsibility. And like, don't get me wrong, Booker's responsibility, but I think that kind of gives him a little bit that gives him the leeway to be in the gap and whatnot.
Do you think Booker is made his way to the top tier now? Or he stay in the second tier?
To me, he's not top tier because once again, to be in that top tier, you need to be able to impact the game in two ways. So he can make an impact in scoring. I haven't seen anything else that I can say this man is elite in. Is that
defensively? You're not elite defensively?
No.
I've never heard anybody talk about his defense.
I'm just saying how the boy playing now.
We talking about Devin. We talking about the guard from the Suns? Defensively?
Steals. What steals he got, Quinn? I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Since when does steals mean a good defender? Curry led the league in steals for like 2 years.
Well, if you got the ball and I'm taking it from you, that's basic basket. Let's keep it basic now.
Okay. Who Who's the best defender of all time?
I mean, I don't know. I can't put a hand on it. I don't have.
So why was the first thing we thought of not John Stockton? Why did you say John Stockton?
I don't know. I don't have a dog in the fight. But anyway, I would think back to you guys. I would think he's top tier, but you say not top tier yet.
He's a top tier scorer. But like I said, in order for me to say that you are a top tier player, you need to be able to dominate a game in at least two categories. At least two categories. And until if he gets his assists up to 10 assists a game, or if he gets his rebounds up, or if he becomes a great defender, if he can impact the game other than scoring, I'll put him in that status. Until then, he's just a great player. He's not.
What's your thoughts?
I'm tripping because you said you gave him the second tier.
Oh, he's not second tier. He's third. He below the second tier. Oh, I forgot your grade scale is a little harder than everybody else's too, though. So I understand.
I'm just saying, man.
I understand.
I agree with Gary saying it's one way that he impact the game, in my opinion, and that's scoring and whatnot. Do we play defense? Yeah, all of them play some type of defense, but I don't think he's just that dominant player to where, on the scouting report, I don't think he got a, I don't think people look at it and get scared. Be his name. I don't.
Okay, got you. So they continue to move games. What's the next? We got the Hawks and the Celtics. Anything to talk about there?
You didn't ask me who I thought was going to win the game with the Suns and the Clippers.
Well, speak then. You can speak. You got permission to speak. Speak.
So I going into this series without having Paul George, I thought it was going to be Suns all the way. Suns stole the game. The Clippers stole the game that the Suns is 1-1, and they're going back to LA, to the Clippers. If Kawhi, I know Kawhi's not playing, but if they can get something out of that bench, which they're very deep and very skillful bench, if they can get enough out of that bench, I think it can become very interesting. And I don't really see them producing enough points off of that bench, but if they could, because they're playing at home, and do one for Kawhi, this series could be.
So you call the Clippers? You gonna call it, or you gonna stay on the fence?
Well,
it's not like you straddling the fence on me. You gonna call it, huh?
I'm an analyst.
But don't call it. You call it now. You on the fence? Call it. As an analyst, who you got? Call it. Don't straddle the fence.
Well, based off of the injury report, I gotta lean closer to the Suns in this particular matchup, because a healthy Kawhi had to drop almost 40 to get them a victory, and they don't have anything close like him on that bench. And if he's not playing, they're gonna go down a game. So
I can agree with that.
You didn't hear with the go down. You go down like Nikita Kodoff.
I was talking about clotheslining earlier. It got me in that mood.
I agree.
The rest is sick.
I don't think the Clippers got enough scoring, man. Even with Paul George, I just don't think they got no scoring. They ain't got enough people to flip on.
Well, Kawhi and Paul together, I think they do.
They would. It'd have been a hell of a lot better series. It would have been a better series.
But without either one.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can we real quick?
I agree.
Can we real quick? Like, as much as I don't care about this series, because I haven't watched a single game, I could not care less about either of these two teams. Russell Westbrook is doing everything that someone wants Russell Westbrook to do. When your shot's not falling, do everything else. And that's what Russell's doing. Now, is he gonna be able to carry this injured Clippers team to win? I don't think so. But he's out there getting rebounds, assists, playing defense. Westbrook, even though he shot terrible that first game, he's one of the main reasons they won that game, because of his defense.
Uh-uh.
I don't know where this was when he was in the other locker room.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Was it too hard to play with LeBron and AD? Did they take the air out the room too much? He couldn't breathe.
Hey, I'm not even. You know why I'm not going to dignify that with a response? I'm stuttering like you. Why we can't dignify that with a response? Because we need to stop blaming LeBron for everything.
Well, I'm gonna go to bat for this question. That's why. This is why I didn't ask you this question, because I know where you was going. I'm going to bat this question. Is playing with more what's the difference? You tell me that it ain't the building, because you're in the same building. So what's the difference you see from Westbrook and the Lakers?
Listen, you gotta have a willing spirit. You gotta have a willing attitude. If you ask me, you took three alpha males. LeBron being the alpha male in most people in that situation, most people will look at. Then you're looking at AD, they would consider him an alpha male, which I really don't. But anyway, and then you look at Westbrook. Westbrook is an alpha male. So you potentially 2.5 alpha males. And at the end of the day, they all gotta come along. If anybody know about the pack, you don't have the pack run by committee. It's ran by one alpha male. So I don't think it was just that being with LeBron was just too much. I think everybody got the way they look at it. Everybody got the way they want to lead, the way they've done things. Westbrook got those MVPs and all that because of the way he was balling out in Oklahoma. So when you take some of that away from him, you take his game. And that's what happens.
So is it coaching? Do Tyronn Lue got the secret sauce?
Because
he went before there on the Ham.
Hey, man.
I'm just asking the question.
Devin Ham is not a good coach.
Tyronn Lue got the secret sauce.
I'm just asking the question. I mean,
Tyronn Lue need to wake up every morning. He need to wake up every morning, look at that ring, and kiss it from LeBron. And then he need to go to Kawhi house and Paul George house and fix their breakfast and thank them. Now, does he have a coach in mind? Yes, he does. Now, I'm not gonna take away.
He making Westbrook. Somebody making Westbrook play like that. He just woke up.
Because I say it is coaching, because Devin Ham is not a good NBA coach. Tyronn Lue is a much better coach than Devin Ham.
They showed the stats of Westbrook on both teams the other day, and his stats are pretty much identical. I think it's not necessarily, I think it's more of expectation. I think on the Lakers, the expectation for Russ was a lot higher than it is for the Clippers. And because of that expectation, so first they had Westbrook in the starting lineup, and they wanted a certain Westbrook, and they couldn't get him. And then they put him on the coming off the bench with a bunch of scrubs that are no longer on the Lakers, that's been divided and sprinkled throughout the rest of the league, and told Westbrook, hey, lead this squad, lead these subpar men to victory, and he couldn't do it. Now on the Clippers, they put him in the starting lineup. They put him in the starting lineup. They said, hey, do what you do best and impact the game. And that's what he's done. He hasn't had to worry about scoring. He said after the first game when he did his interview, he said, I'm glad Tyronn Lue appreciates all that he brings to the game other than just scoring. If he was at the Lakers, based off his shooting percentage, he wouldn't have finished that game at all. So it is an expectation.
Tyronn Lue is him and Devin Ham. They're two different coaches. Ham is his style is, I'm gonna do what LeBron suggested in the meeting. That's what I'm gonna do. Tyronn Lue is a player's coach. Players love playing for him. He listens.
So the environment may be different.
It's laid back.
The environment is everything.
Because think about it,
environment is everything, champ.
Kawhi Leonard's not that forceful. He's not that dictionary that LeBron gonna be in the locker room. Kawhi like, hey guy, if you gonna play, we play. Man, I'm not playing 80 games. I'm only gonna give you 30. So
it's not about the number of games that you play, because in all true honesty, they were uniquely positioned to have a great playoff run. The point I was making was. The point I was making was when LeBron is win 9, Kawhi more kind of laid back. His attitude more laid back. Kawhi, when LeBron got to play
40 minutes, 82 games. Kawhi, nah, that's not how I'm being successful. So I'm saying the environment in the locker room is different from the Clippers.
But you know what? That's more or less like, say for instance, like when you think about who dudes come up under in the NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball, that makes a major role in how they do stuff. Because I think I heard Dion talk one time about one of his friends introduced him to his agent, and then they start sharing customs and things alike. So I think that's more or less like, Kawhi, man, those guys, like, what's really odd? Like, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get out of it, I'm gonna, step off. All those guys from the organization with the Spurs were talented, but they were pieces that fit a puzzle. Along with the exception of Tim Duncan, none of them would have been really elite or good. That's just my opinion.
I agree. That's agree. That's keep it pushing. So we got what are we talking about? The Knicks Cavaliers. Is that a series? Anybody?
Man showed up. I told y'all he was going to do it. I tell y'all Jalen Brunson was going to do it.
Did I not say Cavs in 5?
Oh, I took you took Cavs in 5. I think I took Knicks in 5, didn't I? Or Knicks in 6 or something. I know I went with the Knicks.
It's 1-1 though, ain't it?
What's your thoughts?
It is, yeah, it's 1-1.
Yeah, it's 1-1. What's your thoughts, guys?
I'm still saying the Knicks.
They got those first game jitters out the way.
Man, listen, the Cavs, it took them that young man came out and had an extraordinary game. He wasn't number 10. I don't even know him. He wasn't even on the radar. No disrespect to him, because he played an excellent game. But can he do that throughout the series? He had like 28 points. I can't think what his name is. Number 10.
Darius Garland. First off, Darius
Garland, yeah.
Garland's a superstar.
Yes,
I ain't never heard of him.
The problem is,
no disrespect. I'm not trying to,
that first game was his first playoff game.
We need to get a fine, John, and it needs to be $5 a fine when y'all in here talking about super. Take half these players' name, man.
Was he made the All? Did he make the All-Star team last year? Who made the All-Star team?
He made the All-Star team
this
year. He was an All-Star, I believe. This year.
You're an All-Star, you're All-Star B. I don't make the rules.
It's a difference in being an All-Star and super, because guess what? The fans vote that. That's the fans.
So you agree with him being an All-Star?
Huh?
So you agree with him being an All-Star?
He probably has not. I mean, I don't think any of us watch the NBA enough to really have an informed opinion about the regular season like that. Because we probably watch Christmas.
Some people do
probably watch Christmas. Think about this.
All right.
Everybody watch Christmas Day and maybe the week or two afterwards. And then they let the season settle in and they catch highlights.
I watch enough.
Huh?
I watch nothing. Darius Garland is indeed an all-star. Is he a superstar? Not yet. But he averaged 20 and 7. That's something he can do. Again, that first game was just his first playoff game. He had playoff game jitters. Him and Evan Mobley was their first game. Now they don't feel the atmosphere.
I know one guy still had no jitters.
If you're between the ages of 20 and 27 in the NBA, all you're doing is paying a bunch of kids that you've played on the AAU circuit for the last 10 years.
That is true.
That is all you're doing.
That's
and
true.
Guess what? That's why I feel like, what are y'all doing in the boardroom when I look at Adam Silver? You're just letting these kids leave AAU and come and fill your arenas. The games at the AAU games not even that exciting. So if they're not even that exciting, what make you think the NBA game gonna be that exciting? They really got to check themselves. And I'm going totally somewhere else. But to me, this about getting money, leaving school early and going to the G League and all that. The NBA needs to step back, really look at their policy, and possibly even adopt the college football policy to make the league better.
But Bear, come on, man.
Well,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I want to say this. I want to say this.
Make it better? I don't think that makes it better.
Here's the thing.
The only reason you have to stay 3 years in college football is because of physicality. There's
Go ahead, Ron. What you want to say, Ron?
Different physicality in between college,
man, listen,
league, and NBA.
Everybody keep trying to say these owners for themselves. That's your scouting department fault. It's just man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I didn't understand because I said, well, maybe I'm missing something. Why are we letting Rui go? Or why are we not trying to pay him? And then we're going to let Rui walk out the door and Kuzma leaving too. So Tommy Shepard, Rui going to Los Angeles and balling out, cost Tommy Shepard his job. He got fired, the Wizards GM.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of it is that, man, the NBA, NFL, baseball is about player development. Why is it in the NHL, in baseball, you can go straight to pros if you choose to out of high school?
That's right.
You can go
And
to a minor league team and come up through the minor leagues and be successful. Why can't these guys do it in the NBA? It's the same thing. It doesn't make sense. And what you just said, if you'd heard the agreement, they're actually trying to put something in place where there's some qualifying factors that state that you can do in the draft. Like just because you graduated high school and you've been out a year, there's some other things that you have to do to be able to enter the draft. So they are trying to do that, but it ain't, bro. It's not the kids' fault. If your scouts don't figure out, like I'm a Wizards fan. You know who I thought they should have drafted? Tyson Chandler instead of daggone Kwame Brown. I didn't know Kwame Brown. I didn't trust his game. I didn't hate him, but I didn't know him. And so I thought Tyson would have been a better player. Turns out to me, he's been a part of, I think, some solid. I think he actually won a championship.
He got a ring with the Mavs.
Yeah, Kwame didn't as a rim protector. So my whole thought process. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My whole thought process is, man, everybody wants to say these teams from themselves, man. Stop it. No. These kids deserve the opportunity to go into the free market, and if they can make that bread, let them make that bread. That's my opinion.
To a certain extent. I do agree with a certain extent. I do believe in get the bag and whatnot. Now, but you're talking to a guy, and I'm just going to be honest, even way back when KG, when the whole thing about do we go to college, do we go pro? And I flat out told him, boy, go to school. Go to school. And he looked at me like I was crazy. That's when I knew he was just going pro. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I just feel like right now we're pacifying a bunch of
that Maxie, why would you say that?
And whatnot. And when I turn the game on, it seems too foreign. And maybe that's what it is for me, is that it's just
I think the rule changes. I think the rule changes in development got that way. I don't think
you can play zone.
Darren Fox wanted and I'm not saying he don't deserve it or anything, but where in the world did they get a clutch player award from? Where did they come from?
Yeah, but you also look at how many I don't know neither, but how many Darren Fox games that we saw on the East Coast? How many games? How many Darren Fox games that we saw on the East Coast? I haven't seen. I mean, I seen the boy play maybe highlights, but I never seen the kid. It's not like we cut on TV on Tuesdays and Thursdays on TNT. They're playing the Kings, so I ain't never had a full sample size to see the kid play. Now he's nice.
He balled out this year.
Well, I mean, he's nice. Don't get it twisted. He's nice. But I haven't, when you said Sacramento Kings. Oh, in the East, we don't know. I mean, we know Sabaz, but we don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't say we. I didn't know all the players on that squad because we don't get to see them that often. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I do agree with Ron that basketball, you could have the Kings come out early, but have that farm system set up. Because in baseball, you can leave high school, but you'll go to the farm 1 or minor league 2. Now you at
you go to A-ball. You go to rookie ball, A-ball, AA, AAA, and then the big leagues.
Right. I think
quiet as it's kept. Hey, dude, I was on the field with them maybe about like them A-ball dudes. Them jokers is big. They really are elite. Like they different. Even in the minor leagues, it's different. Like it's different. It's different.
I guess you got just training. There's more training at level that you notice.
It's just, bro. They just, one thing I look at when I look at athletes, I look at their body composition, and you can tell what type of athlete you're looking at by body composition: legs, tone, arms, shoulders. Man, them dudes was elite. Greensboro Grasshoppers. They had some guys that I'm talking about athletes 6'5", 6'4", 6'2", lean, strong, and were built for explosion. A lot of them was guys. That's why the minor leagues is so hard of it's a hard hustle in baseball. There's so many guys trying. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with basketball. We're not even seeing the leagues where guys play. Like my wife, little brother went, her little brother went over to Paris to see one of his friends play in Paris. Bro, it's to be elite and be a professional player is a whole nother different classification. I think we don't understand that. And so listen, I respect anybody that can do it,
Me too. G, you've been quiet on this, so I'm gonna go your way. What about the Heat and Bucks? Well, I'm gonna ask the question about Jimmy Buckets. Is he one of the most underrated all-stars in the league, or is he just a regular? I ain't say superstar, I say all-star.
Wow, the next just stole.
Is he one of the most underrated all-stars in the league, or is he what it is?
So I like Jimmy, and the reason why I like Jimmy is Jimmy can only score 10 points and have an impact on a basketball game because he's going to play defense, he's going to rebound, he's going to do all the things that you need him to do. So I would put him above Booker right now as far as who is closer to a superstar status. I would put Jimmy.
Mitchell?
Huh?
You put my boy Mitchell?
Mitchell once again, Mitchell can score. He's a scorer. But what else does he bring to the table? Last game, he had 11 assists, but can he do that consistently? If he start doing that consistently, 20, 30 points, 11 assists every game, then I'll put him in that status.
Mitchell can, but I don't think he's ever been asked to. I think that's a failing of Quinn Snyder and the system he was in. That kid can play, man. That kid can play.
He can definitely play. I think that he does not have the handles to be a high assist point guard type player. He's truly a shooting guard. He's very predictable in his offensive game. Now he can expand it. But he's very, very predictable. Going back to the initial question about the Bucks and the Heat, I don't know the injury report of Giannis, so I don't know how long Giannis is going to be out or what's going on with Giannis. But for this round, I don't think the Heat have enough sustainable firepower to knock the Milwaukee Bucks out.
Your thoughts, B?
Jimmy Butler is who Jimmy Butler is. I mean, one thing I like about him is he's fierce. He's gonna come in. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get whether he's gonna bully his way, meaning he down for the Heat. He down for whoever he's playing for at that time, and he's gonna give it to him. I don't know. I don't think when you're talking about tier, I think he might be in the top 15 in as far as names thrown around, but I just think he's gonna fall off because there's that one game, and it's just one game maybe out of a week, and I wouldn't even say out of a week. I'll say 14-day span that he's gonna disappear, and disappearing is like 13 points. But you're not looking at everything he did on the inside of that 13 points.
He needs another scorer in Miami. I think Miami is tough, but with Tyler Hero broke his hand. Bam is okay.
Pat Riley run that system. It's the same system he ran with the Knicks, same system he ran with the Lakers. It's going to be his way, all that good stuff. At the end of the day, it may be just time to step aside.
I think the system is fine. I think he need another score. He need another stud down there. See, Lowry just didn't do it.
I guess I went to Pat because a lot of players don't like to go. When you think about it, a lot of players don't want to go to Miami and deal with that because Pat Riley's still on. See, that's why I'm shocked.
Yeah, but Sports is a hell of a coach too now.
I mean, but yeah, Spoelstra is, but Pat still has a lot to say.
Yeah.
And what's the guy? He don't start now. I can't even think his name. Well, I can't believe I can't think his name. Toronto guy from Toronto.
Lowry.
Lowry.
Kyle
Yeah,
Lowry.
I'm surprised Lowry is still there because Pat Riley big on that that ratio, the body fat thing. He big on that. He really is.
Yeah, Lowry, he get a little chubby out there.
He adopted that. I mean, look at Udonis.
Speaking of Udonis Haslem, who is his agent? That's the agent I want.
Well, Udonis still in Miami because the locker room.
But I'm just saying
he wanted him.
But I mean, he done stayed employed as a player for about 20-something years now.
Oh, but he was employed by one place.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever his agent is, tooting ketos to that young fella, that agent. But I think Miami need another scorer down there. I think Milwaukee's still gonna beat them, but I think Miami need another scorer down there. What? Oh, I got a question for tonight. Was Jimmy Buckets right about Minnesota?
And that
about old Cat, them boys soft. Was he right about Cat? And that was the boy soft.
Well, he didn't say that about Edwards. He said that
I don't
about.
think Edwards was there, but Cat was there.
Cat, I think it was Cat and Wiggins. He said that about.
Yeah.
Flip Saunders rolling over in his grave. I still do not understand why in the world do you need Gobert? Why do you need Gobert? I do not understand that. Nobody's gonna wrap my head around that. That is like
he was the defensive player of the year at one time, but he was a real protector.
This one thing I get aggravated with, right? And I'm going to KG for a minute. He was like he was so intense as a player and all this and that. When I look at him as like when he does interviews and stuff and the way he come off like he's just so for the players and whatnot. He needed to tell old boy the truth. And that's what he needed to hear. Cat needs to hear the truth. Bruh, stop shooting all those jumpers. Take your foot down there on the board and go to work, man. Go to darn work. And tell your dad to sit down and stop running around. Man, they need to go to, it's just certain players, man. Because the bigs are shooting. Don't get me wrong. Like, oh boy in Denver, he does that. That is what he's done. He grew up shooting the ball like that. Cat is not he's not, that's not his game.
Oh Lord. All right.
Now I don't know if y'all watched the play-in game with Minnesota and the Lakers, and the way that Cat played that game, I thought he was a whole different person. Now, if Cat played like that every game in and game out, Minnesota would be a force in the league right now.
The issue is he's a finesse player. He's too finesse.
Thank you.
All of them are. All of them finesse.
Well, maybe he need to be in the WNBA then. Maybe in the wrong league.
No, but Gary, half the league is finesse. We don't got no power players in the league no more. Half the league is finesse.
Here's the thing when it comes to Cat, and this is gonna be crazy. Cat sitting up there playing with the little girl. What's the little Jordan girl? He playing with her every night. He need to take himself somewhere. Get on some darn weights. Go to the Wizard of Oz. Get your fucking heart and come back. I mean, the guy can play ball, man. He can play, but
yeah.
I'm going to be Cat or AD. Which one would you have to go? I know you critical on AD. Is they in the same sentence? You put them in the same sentence. I ain't talking about skill wise. I'm talking about attitude wise. Skill wise,
I'm very hard on AD because guess what? By now, AD should have had MVP. By now, AD understands what it is to carry a team. But what he's doing, he's still acting like that rookie, that kid that was on the Olympic team, and he still got his ears open to LeBron. At this point, and I mean, no harm. If you really want to be that alpha, walk into that locker room and tell LeBron, hey, man, some of the stuff we're going through is BS because of you.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
when you do that and establish yourself,
Right.
that's going to help you on the floor. But until he make a stance, I really feel like he has a problem with making a stance. And guess what? Some men got a problem with making a stance. You don't really want to, your neighbor messing up every day. And you see he messing up every day. It's some men out there just not gonna say anything to their neighbor.
You're right. Well, unless it's affecting you. Now, if it's not affecting you,
It's men out there that's affecting them, and the wife in the house calling them all kinds of punks, and he's still not moving. Let's be real, man. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And you sitting there telling yourself, I gotta go out here, but I don't want to.
Man, you better go out there though.
Yeah, because guess what? When the wife get mad, what happens? She only gonna take him about 2 months, and then you be sitting.
Somebody gonna leave, either you or him, but somebody gonna get the hell of right.
My point is, man, at some point, man, he got to get toughened up. And he got to get toughened up. Cat got to get toughened up and whatnot. I mean,
is Edwards on the right track? Could he be a star? Do he got to leave, or do he got to leave Minnesota? I mean, Edwards can shoot, but I ain't even see him take over the game before.
You know what I like about Edwards is he has an attitude. When him and Butler went in at that time about the ball and all this and that, and he stood up and he was like, bro, that's what you got to have. Now, he going to feel like, he going to look around and say, man, what am I dealing with?
Yeah.
What am I really dealing with? Guess what? And Hank, you know this. Gary, you know this. Let's be real. Everybody know KG ain't going to bust a grape.
No.
But when you look at him on that basketball on television and he balling, you would think he was the baddest dude on the playground. And guess what? I used to sit back and I'd be watching the game and he get into it, somebody I just start laughing. And people be like, why you laughing? Because he ain't gonna do nothing.
He ain't gonna do nothing. Selling them whipping tickets like we used to say back in the day.
He's scared.
But that's 97% of the people in the league right now.
10% of the league that do that.
That's not going to scrap. They may fuss. They may get in each other's face. But
hey man, that price too high to be fighting, man. I can control that, man.
Huh?
I want my money, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to fight nobody that bad.
I think the last time with Metal World Peace, Ron Artest, how you want to call that man when he went in that stand and get that fraud, lost all that money. They kind of changed things a little bit, Cat. They changed things now.
I mean, Ron Artest was different. I mean, this man was drinking cognac during halftime of the game, so he was a little different.
But I tell you what,
if
Draymond Green would have stepped on one of them New York Knickerbockers back in the day, they would have cleared the bench. It would have been a brawl in the neighborhood, buddy.
But guess what?
It would have been a brawl in the neighborhood.
Here's the truth behind that. Draymond Green, he ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, he been known to bully them, boy. He done smacked Poole at the beginning of the season. This ain't the first time they hit.
He got pulled by 120 pounds.
He smacked the man. Stop being a bully. Can we stop being a bully? But all right, guys, bonus question. Hey, Quinn, bonus
I'm
question.
just waiting. Y'all been talking for 20 minutes. I'm just waiting my turn.
Well, you got to get in where you fit in, sir. Bonus question.
I've been trying to get in where I fit. I'll try to get in where I fit in 10 minutes ago. I just said, I'm still
he's kindly saying is he didn't get it. You know what I'm saying?
I had my hand up. I was throwing flares.
Okay, sir. I didn't see. I'm sorry. Go jump in. Where you want to start at? So where you want to start at?
Oh, I'm starting from the beginning, from where I want to start at. When you was talking about baseball, the funny thing about that is players get drafted out of high school, but they have the option to either go to the minors or they can go play in college. There's a bunch of kids who can go get drafted out of high school, either go minor league and go that way, play college, and then go back into the draft.
That's
school ain't for everybody, man. School ain't for everybody, man.
I thought you could do that with an agent.
I ain't done
Hold
yet.
on, though. I thought you could do that with an agent. You got to have an agent for that. Am I wrong?
Nah, they get drafted out of high school, and then they have the option.
Now they're making it so. I think it's a year postgraduate. They need to, you know what I'm saying?
All right, go back, Q. Go ahead.
Second, playmaker. His name is Giannis. The G is silent. You said it 3 times. Giannis.
Did
Third.
you say that? Say it again.
What you fact checking now? You fact checking?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Now let's get on to Karl-Anthony Towns.
Garrett.
Karl-Anthony Towns does not need to get into the post. Karl-Anthony Towns shoots 40% from three for his career. Let the man shoot. Fourth of all, Jimmy Butler, you talking about Jimmy Butler saying, was he right about Minnesota? That was 4 years ago.
Well, they still
There
sold.
were kids who weren't in the league at that point when Jimmy Butler left Minnesota.
Karl-Anthony Towns was there.
Yes, he was.
All right,
And
then.
speaking of that team, you said, Wiggins was on that team too. Wiggins got a ring, and Jimmy Butler doesn't.
Yeah, but Wiggins proved he wasn't as soft as we thought he was. Wiggins proved last year he took your boy from Dallas and shut him down the whole series, did he not?
Yes, he did. And guess what?
That's right.
Doing that. He was doing that in Minnesota. Y'all wouldn't know that because y'all don't watch games that don't come on after 9 o'clock.
All right. So bonus
Now,
question,
hold
guys.
on.
Bonus. Well, go ahead, B. Go ahead.
First of all,
Brown is 40% for a career.
Quentin
Saying,
better not
get
get
him in
no
the post.
Christmas gift or birthday gift for the next 2 years.
Say again? I ain't say again.
Quentin better not get no gifts for the next 2 years for correcting you.
Yeah. I mean, he fact checking everything. I love it.
Hey, man,
Also, NBA players don't fight because, like Ron said, I'm not losing no money because someone want to push me in front of a large crowd. They finding people tens of thousands of dollars. You call me soft if you want. I ain't losing $10,000 because someone else is upset that I'm beating them in a game.
Oh, you said, Bell? That's cool. You're right, Quinn.
I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, that makes sense. Hey, so quick question, and I'm just kind of curious. Out of all the veteran teams in the playoffs, which one, if they lose, gonna have to scrap it? You think they got to rebuild it? Any one of them? Do Philly got to rebuild if they don't win? Do Miami got to rebuild if they don't win? Who you got? Who you think?
I'll tell you my answer. I'll tell you my answer. You ain't gonna like it.
Ask me.
That team in blue and gold that's playing right now. You just said Draymond's probably gone at the end of the season, and don't let him get swept because Draymond decided to be old WWE Stone Cold Steve Austin and stop a mud hole because someone grabbed his leg.
Oh no, I'm not mad because I thought Draymond and
I'm
not mad because I thought Draymond and Thompson probably be gone next year.
And guess what? That is if they get swept, which I'm watching the game right now. The game just started. Hey, if they get swept by this very young Kings team, they got to start over.
What do you think,
Gary? And I know it's not the question, but let me say this: why we don't talk enough noise about Klay Thompson? Klay Thompson can shoot. He's part of the Splash Brothers and all that.
But he's slow.
He's
a liability on defense now, though.
I can give that answer.
Hey, I think like when you say that, I think we're not acknowledging the injury he came back from. We're not acknowledging that he was part of a team that set a paradigm at Washington State. And they were the coach that's at Virginia right now. They were lockdown defenders. You hear me? Straight lockdown defenders. And Klay was probably one of the better defenders. Achilles is hard to come back from. Achilles and the ACL, all that, man, that's a lot, man. So his lateral movement is he's probably never going to be the same guy laterally at all. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do believe the Golden State man that up. I'm with both of you guys. I think Klay don't lost his step. And
there's another thing.
Go ahead.
I'll say another thing is Klay Thompson really, if you watch Warriors games, I watched these last two Warriors series. There was times where Klay Thompson will put up a shot, and I'm thinking, Klay, what are you doing? I know you can shoot, but there are times when Klay will pull some, and he ain't hit a shot all game. I'm like, yo, Klay, get a ball to Steph. You passed it. There's a man open in the corner. Why are you pulling that? I know he got a reputation of being able to make those shots, but Jeez, and that's been going on like all year. I just happened to notice it this series.
Go back to you, B.
I can see them rebuilding because at the end of this, if they don't win this series, and you know, speculation of Draymond being gone, oh boy, to me is part of the liability in the series, and that's Wiggins. Wiggins, you know, for whatever reason he was gone for all that time. That hurts, man. You cannot stay gone, and then now you back in the first round of the playoff. That hurts. So
then you got Poole still coming off the bench, and I think so. He need to be starting somewhere.
Jordan Poole starting right now. Jordan Poole started tonight.
That's the first time. Normally he coming off the pine.
Did he start tonight? I have no.
Yeah, he started tonight. He have a choice. Oh boy,
okay. Well, go ahead, G.
I can't believe what I'm hearing about Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is still one of the best shooters in the league, and even though he can't defend like he used to, when the game is on the line and you want somebody shooting the three, he's going to be one of the people you want shooting the three. Now can he defend like he?
No criteria no more, Ness, but he can only do one thing on the floor now.
No, I never really said he was elite. I'm not saying he's elite anymore. I'm saying he is a above average 3-point shooter that can spread the floor. You take him and you put him on Philly right now and take out any 2 or 3 of their starters, they're a much better team. Just because he can sit on the perimeter and stretch the floor and stay in front of an average guy. So I can't. When you talk about blowing up a team, I can't say that Wiggins is out. I can't say you get rid of Wiggins. I can't say you get a Steph. Can't get rid of Poole. I think Looney is solid. I mean, the only person that you really think about getting rid of would be Draymond if he asks for too much money. I just can't see you blowing up that team. I think you have more
Draymond.
pieces.
I can see Thompson leaving. Looney, I don't know. Looney, I don't know.
You don't get rid of Looney. You don't get rid of Looney.
Looney, I don't know. What's another team out there? Do you blow up Philly? How long Embiid? Well, no, because Harden just got there. You leave Philly alone.
Harden gonna leave, but you don't mess with Philly.
Leave Philly alone.
Max is Maxey, he all right. You still got Embiid. Maybe you get another piece. Let's be real. Harden does what Harden do. I mean, that's just it. I'm never no.
His game is weird. His game is weird. He's effective, but I think his game. I like him being more aggressive than he was before. But his game is a little
His
weird.
game has slowed down, and it's still as effective. Man, he's not MVP anymore, but it's slowed down as in points, but he can still pass. He can still score if he wants to.
What about the Bucks run? But I mean, the Bucks rally. I guess they're gonna stay together. You leave that core group together.
We just throwing
At some point, Giannis got to sit his brother down and say, "Look, bro, I know you want me to stay, but maybe it's just time for you to go find you another job, do something else. I can't carry you forever." And,
he should told me a couple years ago. He done got a chip off it now.
Because Giannis is doing what y'all said y'all did with Kevin Garnett, except Thanasis can actually play at that high level.
Giannis, to me, Giannis is sticking around so his brother have a job. And at the end of the day, bro, listen, you're a grown man. I've carried you this far.
No, from what's being told about that, Thanasis, I believe that's when Thanasis actually keeps Giannis under control because we've seen Giannis get upset. If Giannis gets upset around at everyone's team, Thanasis is the one who say, "Hey, bro, calm down."
Yeah, but you're a professional. There's a whole lot of people there. A whole lot of people there in that locker room tell, "Hey, bro, calm down." There's a whole lot of folks. Yeah, a whole lot of folks tell that man to calm down.
Look,
I was looking in the dictionary the other day for the definition of getting the free check, and his picture came up.
Wait a minute, guys. We're talking about a guy who is like number 15, number 12 off of the depth chart.
That was about to say. That's what you got on Udonis Haslam saying, "Who's your agent?" The same agent that Giannis Antetokounmpo has.
I mean, But this guy's not even in part of the rotation. Why are we talking
He's
about
not.
this man?
Well,
He-
he taking the spot for somebody else. It's
No,
somebody
I
else.
was saying, Giannis gonna have to at some point entertain. Have I gone as far as I can with the Bucks?
That's true.
You got to look at that, and that,
Look
most
at his.
people not gonna sign him.
How long he do the ball?
Wait. Why would we say that? He won the chip 2 years ago, and last year he just didn't have his number 2 option. What do you mean going as far as he can?
I mean, after that, what is he
not
gonna
gonna
do?
get
I mean, does he win it this year?
They're the favorite.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
think
I
he
don't
leaves
know.
that supporting cast. If he goes somewhere else, he's not going to get a Holiday, a Middleton, a Lopez, a stacked bench. He's not going to go any place like that and find that group of talent to support him on his cause. I think he's crazy if he leaves there. And I think if you talked about blowing up Philly, there's nothing to blow up. You only know 3 people on the team. The rest of the people are basically just there. You got Maxey, you got Harden, you got Embiid. Everybody else is expendable.
Yeah,
Here's an update.
I can't think his name. The light
Tobias?
kid, Tobias.
Yeah.
Tobias
When's
Harris,
the last time he's been he's done something?
What was his box
He's a
score tonight?
He's a starter on a championship caliber team.
That
He
can
had
easily
7
be
and 15
replaced.
tonight, Nesbitt.
Say it again.
15.7 boards tonight.
You can
And
get
there are
that from a
times
lot
when
of folks in the league.
he's the last shot. I've seen when they give Tobias that last shot. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I used to love Tobias. I thought when he was on that on the Clippers with Doc and everybody left and he was balling out, he was doing his thing. But when you look at Philly, you don't think of a big 3 because they got Tobias. You don't think of a big 4 because they got Tobias.
Right.
If you want to bring up, if Jimmy Butler is right about Minnesota, that if you want to be honest, they should have kept Jimmy Butler and traded Tobias to Miami.
Yeah, fact. Yeah.
Jimmy
wanna
Butler
say
won't win in
Butler,
Minnesota. But you had to move Jimmy. He done cussed out the coach and raised all kind of hell with the owner. It was locker room issues with that. One more person I want to talk about, guys. We'll wrap it up. I think he was trying to be an all-star. That's old Trae Young. Down in Atlanta. Do we got any? Is there any? Go ahead. I'm just, huh?
Hey, I'll holler at y'all next week. Man, why are you talking about Trae Young?
You don't think Trae a baller? He not a baller. No one close to being a baller. I mean, I'm just asking.
He's a good ball player, but he's a complimentary piece, man.
Okay, he was up and coming at one time.
But stop.
Hey, let me ask you a question then.
Emergency break, park and break.
Let me ask you a question. If he's a number 1 on his team?
I see he was up and coming. Now I don't know he's number 1.
You can't say becoming after 6-7 years in the league. What you are is what you are. That's going to either you're going to show it or you're not.
Yeah.
So,
they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
That was in the bubble, wasn't it?
No, that was the year before. This year, he averaged 26 and 10. Those are starting point guard minutes. And I believe he was an all-star this year. I can't check or not.
Let me ask you this.
Those are all-star stats.
Let me ask this. What's the kid in Memphis? Is it Jones, the backup?
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones.
Shout out Duke. Hey, shout out Duke.
What happened?
Tyus Jones or Trae Young? Who you taking?
What the?
Where is Tyus? He played for
You're comparing Trae Young to Tyus Jones?
I would take Tyus Jones. I would take Tyus Jones.
In the show.
I would take Tyus Jones because
this is personal.
He can run the team. Tyus Jones has shown that he can run the team. Trae Young he's offensive minded. He's Tyus Jones.
He took the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals.
What Wait a minute.
He
Let me ask
he is the starting point guard on a playoff team.
Let me ask this question, Bear. If you can have a point guard to get you 10 to 12 assists a night, would you take that?
Yeah.
Now, if you have a point guard to give you 20 to 30 points a night that has good range and can stretch the floor, would you take that?
See, I'm different. To be honest, I want my point to give me about 18. I'll take the 18-10, 18-12. To be honest.
This is like a positionless basketball, though. This is a positionless basketball, sir.
Oh, positionless?
Trey is a
of course, that's what they
6'1"
got.
point guard. What do you
Listen,
position?
you got to hear the way I'm looking. You got to see the way I'm looking at it. Like, I
It
really
don't have nothing to do with his size.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's not his size, it's his game.
Yeah,
But 26
I
and
look
10
at
is
his
26
highest.
and 10,
For
man.
a
I'm not
career.
And you
For
know,
his
y'all
career.
know I'm not a Duke fan at all. But I look at it, and I'm looking at the way he run that Memphis team. Really, they have no drop off with him on that floor. Well, I was gonna say they're just as good. They don't get as many points out of him, but he still runs that team.
So
and he runs them. And I don't see that out of Trey. I see right now, I feel like he's the sore thumb in Atlanta.
you're telling me you would take 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists over 26, 3, and 10.
That 10.5 assists you won, didn't you?
Say again?
At 10 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists, he won. Did he not? At 26 and 10. The 26 and 10. Trae Young, 26 and 10.
Yeah.
He lost. But Tyus Young was
Tyus Jones hasn't won anything either. Tyus Jones has actually won less.
Y'all missing it. I'm trying to tell you, you're missing it.
Hey, y'all, I ain't got no skin in this game. I can't.
I just asked the question and see where it lands. Y'all done ran with this one. Go ahead, keep running. I will see where it lands.
Trae Young for a career averages 25 and 9. By the way, in less games than Tyus Jones, because Tyus Jones has been in the league longer.
See, and I know it's aggravating for me to go back and reach and grab these players. When I think about Trae Young, I think about Isaiah. Now I know y'all gonna say, "Oh, here we go." All right, now Isaiah was not putting out 26 and 10, but for Detroit back then, he was not. But if you got an Isaiah giving 26 and 10, you telling me Detroit not blowing people out on a regular? They're not doing that in Atlanta.
So what Bear's saying is, although Trae giving you 26 and 10, is not accumulating in W's.
No,
so he's not the leader of the squad. He's not accumulating in W's. Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead.
I mean, Isaiah had a stacked team and a stacked bench.
Stack.
Trae Young got what else does Trae Young got?
Trae Young, they just got DeJounte.
Did you just say stack?
This year. But besides that, his second best player was John
not
Collins.
Stack. Those players were good role players. They weren't stacked.
What do you mean they weren't stacked?
They weren't stacked.
That Detroit Piston team had to be one of the best defensive squads in the league.
When you say okay, you know what I'm gonna say what stacked is? Stacked is when you have one of the greatest front lines in NBA history, McCurry, Bird, and Parrish. That's stacked.
Is that the greatest front line in
NBA history? Let me finish. Stacked is looking at a Showtime's Laker team and seeing guys come off the bench that could be started for other teams. So when I'm sitting here looking at like what we're talking about with
Detroit Piston team,
the Pistons, okay, tell me about what about them was stacked, because it was only one other Hall of Famer on that team. Tell me, and he left before they won a championship. So tell me, I'm sorry, two. I forgot Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, John Sally.
John Sally's not a Hall of Famer.
No, but no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Not a
Hey,
Hall of Famer.
can somebody pull the roster? Can somebody pull the roster?
I'm gonna tell you who's on the roster.
I got you for
Dennis Edwards, John Sally, Rick Mahorn, God, what's the Bama name? The one that beat up everybody.
Which Pistons year we looking at?
Put
Isaiah Thomas they played. What year was that?
89, 90, I think.
89, 90. All right, bet. Mark Acquire.
Okay.
Microwave. That's the microwave. No, that's Vinny. That's Vinny. I'm sorry.
No, that Mark
William
Acquire was a very good college player. Came to the pros. He put some numbers up with the Mavericks, but he was not elite when he played with them. So let's
But
talk.
he was solid. He was solid.
And then
William
Zeke.
Bedford.
Hold on. Let's get him out now. Go one by one, Quinn. Slow down so everybody here one by one.
Mark Acquire, William Bedford, Joe Dumars, James Edwards, Dave Greenwood, Scott Hastings, Gerald Henderson, Vinnie Johnson, Stan Kimberg, Bill Lambier, Ralph Lewis, Dennis Rodman, John Sally, and then IT.
Vinny Johnson was the microwave instant offense. You
said stack.
So
yeah, you said stack. So start telling me where the stack is.
So tell me what player do you not know of that he just named?
I'm asking you a question. When you said stack, is it elite?
That's a basic team.
They good. They
were good.
They had a great coach.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you stat.
That was 89-90.
I'm gonna tell you stat. Dominic Wilkins, Kevin Willis. God dang, they had some young players.
How many championships did that Detroit team win?
They won two. They won two.
They won 2 championships with Isaiah and some bums? Back in the 80s? In the 80s?
In 88,
they had the best coach in the game, man.
Not the rough and tough 80s.
They had the best coach in the game. You know why he was the coach of the Dream Team, right? You know why he was the coach of the Dream Team, though, right?
Okay. All right. Y'all right.
No. Now, does anyone even know?
Hey,
if I name off this Atlanta Hawks team this year, would you consider? Tell me if you consider any of them future Hall of Famers.
You said any of those guys future Hall of Famers? I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say none of them guys. I wouldn't say none of those guys. But here's the thing. Do you see anybody beating down the door to want to play with?
They were who? Oh,
were people beating down the door to play in Detroit?
Oh, wait a minute. What about before Trae Young was there? Who was at Atlanta before Trae Young was there?
Exactly. Before Trae Young got there, their best player was Al Horford.
Nobody wanted to go to Atlanta. It had nothing to do with Trae Young. They didn't want to go there before he was there, and they don't want to go there after. It had nothing to do with Trae Young.
I can't believe y'all just not accepting the sad truth about Trae Young. His 26-10 is just nothing. I'm sorry. It's nothing.
Get him to the playoffs.
Let's just be honest, man.
Nothing, give him another legit score. DeJounte Murray is not a legit number 2. If you want him to do it, get him some help.
They actually gave the money. If you really looked at it, they gave the money to keep that team together. What's the kid? John Collins. John Collins was supposed to be.
Hey,
for a long time, he was a number 2.
You're debating about Trae Young. I mean, for real.
Hey, he borderline superstar.
Trae Young's the reason the Hawks are a playoff team. If Trae's not on that team, the Hawks are perennial number 1 draft pick.
Hey, Quentin, man, listen, you're not realizing it's a lot of bad basketball. If you put that daggone team the Wizards have up against that, like man for man, they're better than the daggone Hawks. It's just bad basketball.
Well, what a
Teams
Hall
are
of
playing
Fame
bad
in a
basketball.
way.
And Ron,
That-
you said a few
I
minutes ago,
agree.
somebody asked a question a few seconds ago about the Hall of Fame. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They should put a lock on the Hall of Fame and just lock it up. Just straight lock it up.
Nobody else can get in. Nobody else can get in.
And listen, I feel bad for LeBron and KD. They're gonna be standing at the door, banging on the door. Hey, let me in. They should just lock it up forever, man. For real.
Well, I don't think. Well, I think Atlanta got their hands
No,
full,
wait
guys,
a
with
second. The
Boston.
argument wasn't which team was better. It was you saying you would take Tyus Jones over Trae Young.
Guess what? That's my preference. Listen, if guess what? Guess what? I want a productive guard.
Hey, you know what though? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If in watching the NBA, if you're really honest with yourself, I think Isaiah Thomas was the only point guard that was ever asked to average 20 plus, 20, 25 a game, and then still effectively run offense. And everybody can't do that.
And that,
You gotta ask yourself that
Nice
question.
playmaker.
Wait,
baby.
wait,
You got
wait.
the last word tonight, sir.
If somebody's depending on you to be the lead scorer and then run the offense, that's why point guards, I have not been able to traditionally break through like Isaiah Thomas. That's why, man, Isaiah Thomas, man, to me, is one of the best players in the NBA ever. Like, he could handle the ball, he could get anywhere on the court, he could shoot. He did everything. He played defense, he was fierce. That's why they won. They had a mentality and he led that team.
he was the smallest guy on the team with the biggest.
Gary didn't play winning basketball, Gary.
He didn't play.
Who didn't play winning
You
basketball?
think he did? Huh? You think he
Who didn't
did?
play winning basketball?
You think he did?
Gary Payton.
Do you think he did? Yes or no?
He did what?
I'm asking G.
No, you were saying a guy who had to get his team in his sets and could score the ball, and that he came to my mind. Gary Payton did that.
Did he play winning basketball?
It's a team sport.
He made it to the finals.
No, I'm asking the question.
Okay. I misspoke. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown out a Hall of Famer. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown out a Hall of Famer. That's my bad.
He's a Hall of Fame. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this.
He didn't play winning basketball. How can he be a Hall of Famer?
He's a great individual defender. He ran decent sets, but that team was immensely. That team was like, when I start thinking about the talent on that team, Rain Man.
Who do you think got this man? Why did Rain Man have the nickname Rain Man if it wasn't for Gary Payton?
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to say this to you. Sean Kemp would have been Sean Kemp on the moon. Woo! Sean Kemp would have been Sean Kemp on the moon.
He can jump out of the gym.
So you're saying...
How is he going to get to the basket?
Man, listen, you need to go really look at some highlights and look at his footwork. See, that's the thing that most people don't understand about sports.
He was a post-up player?
Who said what? Yes. Yes. Go look at his footwork. Go look at some of his highlights and his footwork. You can't, you know what? You know what Embiid said that was deep? Listen what I'm saying to y'all. This is what Embiid said. He said, I kept getting injured because my footwork was bad. When I got my footwork together, that's when I stopped getting injured. If you look at most big men, you know, when Tim Duncan took off and went to, like, I remember Charles Barkley said, man, I done seen the future. And it ain't pretty. I don't remember that thing because they players' footwork. Your boy, man, G, Kemp could do everything in the game. Kemp was just a lunchbox.
With great footwork.
You got it. Hey, Hey guys, Sean Kemp was extremely explosive. I'm not taking that away from him. His
Yes.
explosive was ridiculous.
Sean Kemp.
Ridiculously explosive. Ridiculously
Go
explosive.
look up some highlights. Go look up some highlights.
I got some homework
Yeah.
tonight.
But I'm gonna give you
Just
the
see the
last word
dunks.
tonight, sir.
14
Let's
and a
round
half
it down.
points for his career.
What you say, Quentin?
Sean Kemp averaged for his career 14 and 8.
Yeah.
You can't look at his career because
Nah, you can't look at career. You
toward
gotta
the
look at
end of his
the boy
career,
got the score.
his
All right,
Okay,
you
footwork
got last
wasn't
word,
His
B.
best career was 20 and 9.
Okay, Q. All right, B, you got the
In
debate
Cleveland.
will continue. B, you got last word, buddy.
Good night.
And this is Over the Top, guys. May your next move be the game changer. Good night.